speak. I'd love to see some of their news and their material. Well, now for Native news across the nation. I don't know whether you remembered it or not, but November has been National American Indian Heritage Month, and the White House got around to making the announcement on November 22nd. In the White House statement, President Bill Clinton declared that it is important that we reflect on our shared heritage and learn from the valuable lessons that history teaches. He also acknowledged that the relationship between the United States government and the native peoples of this country has not been without controversy, adding that Americans must acknowledge often profound mistakes. But the president also had words of progress. He called the growing self-determination efforts by tribal governments a reason for celebration and reaffirmed the government-to-government relationship between tribal governments and the federal government. Alaska Natives will be again showing their support for living lives of sobriety during the Iditarod Trail sled dog race this year. For the past 2 years, musher Mike Williams has been carrying signed pledges of sobriety in his sled from Alaska Natives who have joined the fight against alcohol and substance abuse. But this time, Williams will be setting out the race in order to train a new team of dogs. This year, Native musher Joe Carney of Teller will carry that honor and the pledges of sobriety from Native peoples. A Native man who is not a member of a federally recognized tribe is having problems with the state wildlife authorities in the state of Utah. Edson Gardner has been arrested by police and questioned by state wildlife officers as to whether or not he could legally possess an eagle feather he carried in his vehicle. Although not an enrolled member, he has been recognized by community members as a Uinta and Ore native. Gardner and his lawyer have filed suit in tribal court saying the state has interfered with tribal activities. State wildlife officials have refused comment on the issue. A 90-year-old Athabascan elder is fighting federal bureaucracy in order to have a traditional tribal funeral and burial in Alaska. The U.S. Social Security Office says Altona Brown has too many personal assets to qualify for their help and subsidy. Brown has been denied Social Security and Medicaid because the government said her oak coffin and the handcrafts she had prepared for her funeral giveaway pushed her income up above their eligibility levels. Without the various support, Brown now faces an $18,000 debt, according to a report from the Anchorage Daily News. After public outcry and support, which has included the state's congressional delegation, the U.S. agency has agreed to restore Brown's support up to a point, but that left an $18,000 gap. Supporters say if the federal bureaucracy had helped as it should have, all of Brown's troubles could have been avoided. Alaska's Olympic gold medal skier has decided to promote sockeye salmon from the Bristol Bay area. Tommy Moe and the Bristol Bay Borough have signed a joint venture to advertise the rich natural resource, its sockeye salmon. The region produces as much as 180 million pounds, nearly 70% of the world's supply, in a single season. And finally, Native students and elders from the Crow Creek High School in South Dakota have made a journey to visit Miracle, the white buffalo calf born this summer in Janesville, Wisconsin. Indian Country Today reports that the group made a 24-hour trip to take part in recognizing the sacredness of the birth and to offer prayers. The students who made the trip said they were treated very well by the Hiders who own the farm and Miracle. They offered the buffalo calf a star quilt to honor it. They also report that the calf is acquiring its winter coat, which turns it brown. This is Native News across the nation. For Heartbeat Alaska, I'm Gary Fife.
Speaking of Joe Carney, one of your stories, we recently aired a piece on Heartbeat Alaska about his running the Iditarod, carrying the pledges. And you might be wondering what this is on the set. It's fudge. Sue Christensen from Nome, Alaska, is making fudge to help raise money for Joe Carney. And
it's driving me crazy.
Gary can't eat chocolate, so we got all this fudge.
Look at this.
Try and lift it. You're a wrestler. Sue Christensen sent me 15 pounds a fudge, and she's selling fudge in Nome to help Joe Carney's sponsorship. Isn't that excellent? But look at all this fudge. I can't believe this. Look at this. Now, see, they come in these packages. And she sent me these packages that are like 5 pounds each. It's just amazing. Thank you so much, Sue Christensen. And thank you, Sue, so much for helping Joe Carney.
The native people of South Central Alaska have lived for thousands of years in this beautiful but demanding environment. To survive in this wild land, we have developed a unique culture, a culture which calls on each of us to share our gifts for the benefit of all. This tradition lives today in an Alaska Native organization, sharing its healthcare skills with the natives and the American Indians of the Cook Inlet area, Southcentral Foundation. Southcentral Foundation's mission is to improve the health and well-being of Alaska Natives and American Indians through the development and implementation of comprehensive health-related services which meet changing needs, enhance culture, and empower individuals and families to take charge of their lives. Southcentral Foundation is a unique healthcare organization providing quality services to Alaska Native and American Indians. As members of the Native community, we are honored to share our experience in healthcare with our neighbors and families in the Cook Inlet area. As the Alaska Native health system evolves and changes, we at Southcentral Foundation are dedicated to keeping our people healthy, happy, and strong for today and for all the tomorrows to come. For more information about Southcentral Foundation, please write Southcentral Foundation, 670 West Fireweed Lane, Anchorage, Alaska, 99503, or call our administrative offices at area code 907-265-4900.
Now that winter's here, most people in the far north are wrestling with the weather. In Savoonga, Alaska, the children are wrestling with each other in the first annual wrestling clinic held on the remote island in the Bering Sea. This wrestling clinic was a lot of fun. 31 children signed up, from age 4 all the way up to the 5th grade. The wrestling clinic was held on November 7th through the 12th and was sponsored by Andy and Rhoda Davis, who put on wrestling clinics in Oregon before coming to Alaska. They spend their evenings each day training future grapplers basic maneuvers. This was an equal opportunity wrestling clinic, and the girl wrestlers did just fine. The students were taught all the basic wrestling maneuvers and moves. Of course, some added a few moves of their own. Around 550 people live in the community of Savoonga, and many of them turned out for the event. They live a traditional hunting-gathering lifestyle, a lifestyle that encourages their children. Many of them helped out with the event. The staff and students of Savoonga schools helped out as scorers, timekeepers, and however they could. Yep, there he is, my opponent. I think I'll psych him out and display my boundless energy and competitive nature. Whoops, wait a minute. Gotta look good. What's wrong with this? Haha, gotta fix the jersey. Hey, when does this thing start? Well, gotta keep psyching him out. He keeps copying me. Well, I wonder what's going on. Just gotta keep jumping. Hey, does anyone know we're here? We're ready to start. Okay, let's go. Come on, we're ready to go. Finally, we're off. Whoops, better shake his hand, be a good sport. At least he's not a girl. No doubt about it, though. I've got a technique. Thank you, John Wahiyi from Savoonga, Alaska, for that video. Let's travel now to Stebbins, where they're learning how to do beadwork. Video compliments of Holly Masters. The town of Stebbins, Alaska is a Yupik community of around 450 people. During this time of year, they're usually getting ready for caribou and moose hunting or hauling wood, fishing for whitefish and sheepfish, hunting seals and belugas, and cod fishing through the ice. But recently, the residents were doing something else. They were learning beadwork. Delores Sloan traveled from Fairbanks to Stebbins to teach the community beadwork. She's been doing beadwork since childhood, having learned from her mother, who was always busy sewing for her family.
That's a complete different flower too now.
Delores Sloan's beadwork has received national recognition when she was elected to the Homemakers Hall of Fame in Ralston, Virginia. She's especially proud of her beaded stole that was presented to Pope John Paul II when he visited Alaska in 1984. That piece now resides in the Vatican Museum. Delores Sloan does beadwork all the time. Her experimentation with beadwork has led to beaded portraits of famous individuals, John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, and Alaska Governor William Egan. Sloan has taught beadworking at the Anchorage Historical and Fine Arts Museum, and for the last 10 years, she has taught beadworking to children in the Fairbanks School District's Alaska Indian Education Program.
Anyway, these are some old-fashioned mittens that you hardly see today. They're all on moose skin, smoked moose hide with the beadwork and the beaver trimmed, the fur's beaver. Oh, it's just a traditional thing in Fort Yukon where I'm from. All the people carried their babies in them years ago.
Delores has made 12 baby straps
And I've got
is working on number 13. Some of these straps are in private collections and some are on public display in Alaska and the lower 48. Every single baby strap is different.
So you've got the baby there with a shawl, and his head is snug in the shawl, and the baby will stay there practically all day as long as he doesn't get hungry and too soaked. If you're really interested in doing beadwork, I'd say it takes a lot of patience. Don't get discouraged and don't give up. If you make a mistake, do it over again. take off what you've been doing and start all over again and just keep this up. I mean, myself, I've been sewing beads for about 35, 40 years, and I'm still making mistakes where I have to rip things apart and start over. And if you have elders around that knows anything about sewing, beadwork, or doing anything, any basket making, or anything parka making, get your elders' advice. The elders' advice is very important.
Listen to your elders. That's how Delores Sloan was taught. And now this world-class artist shares her skill, inspiring others to bead.
Pass time away, and I find Delores a very nice person. And I wish she wouldn't have to leave so soon because I'm having fun. And I hope one day she'll find time to come back here.
Can you show us what
Great Spirit, grant me vision that I may not go wrong and find myself in prison of things I have not done. Teach me the secret that I might see. Fill my heart with compassion to love my enemy. Mother Earth will feed our hunger. Father Sky will love her well. Make me worthy of this vision that no human tongue could ever tell. The winds of life blowing four directions, the sacred waters flow to the sea. The eagle flies high as any mountain. Oh, great Spirit, keep us free. Give me strength to learn a lesson. Make me wise to understand what it takes to walk in beauty as I learn to walk this sacred land. The winds of life blowing four directions, the sacred waters flow to the sea.
Mother Earth as it was a long time ago.
Thank you so much for watching Heartbeat Alaska Native News Across the Nation.
Thank you. We are especially pleased to have the news station in Philadelphia join us, WYBE. It's good to have listeners on the East Coast.
Really, I understand they have over 2 million households that watch their television programming, so we're real excited to have them. And we look forward to news from them and news from you.
Please, there are a lot of natives in the region and in the city itself, so we'd love to share your material with the material that comes out of the villages here in rural Alaska.
And Christmas messages.
Please, yes. This year, of course, we're going to continue our newer tradition of asking our viewers to share their Christmas messages with us.
Yeah, so if you have relatives in the lower 48, now's your chance to say hello, Merry Christmas from your village. We still have lots of time to get those in, 2 weeks, so please get your camcorder out. For Heartbeat Alaska, I'm Jeannie Green.
And I'm Gary Fife.
We'll see you next week.
Oh, this fudge is too much.
Yeah, really. You should...
For the King of Angels, oh come let us adore him. Oh come let us adore him. Oh come let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Yea, Lord, we greet thee for this happy morning. Jesus, to thee be all glory given. Word of the Father, now in flesh appearing. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Kay